Anthony Fantano is quite possibly the biggest music reviewer in the world. He's known for discussing albums and rating them on a scale from 0 to 10, so I decided to take all 34 albums that he's given a 10 out of 10 on the website Album of the Year and rank them from worst to best. To be clear, there are other places online where he's supposedly given 10s, but those are kinda all over the internet and I'm not entirely sure what does and doesn't count, so to keep things simple and consistent, I'm sticking strictly to the Album of the Year list. I'll also be choosing my favorite song from each of them, then awarding the albums a final score out of 100. This video took a ton of effort to make, so I'd really appreciate a like, a subscribe, some hype points, and a comment. I read and respond to every single one of them, so let me know your thoughts down below. Now let's get on with it!
I'm so reborn.
Kids See Ghosts is a collab rap album between Kid Cudi and Kanye from 2018, and it's in my last place, not because it's bad, but mainly just because it's too short. It's not even 24 minutes long. I could microwave a fucking Hot Pocket at the start of this, and it would still be hot by the end of the album. That's not to say that there's no quality here, though. All 7 tracks are strong and diverse, covering a lot in such a short period of time. And my favorite song has to be
It feels so good it should cost.
Fourth Dimension is amazing. To start, there's the genius sample of What Will Santa Claus Say by Louis Prima from 1936.
What did he say?
There's the drop that hits hard, the bass and the drums are layered so well, and the lines are iconic.
That's too new to mention, or fit in the sentence. If I get locked up, I won't finish the sentence.
He didn't finish the sentence, literally. It's so fun, it's so fire. That's all I gotta say. Kids See Ghosts, a great rap album. I just wish it was a little longer. I'm giving it an 83 out of 100. Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota is a 2021 album, and I would tell you what genre it is, but I have no fucking idea. It's kinda scary and spiritual sounding. Yeah, this album has these extravagant, grand, loud instrumentals. It's big, it's beautiful, and it's haunting all at once. So why is it so low on my list? Because I can't quite resonate with it fully. It deeply explores themes of spirituality and religion, and I'm not a spiritual nor a religious person in the slightest bit, so the message feels a bit lost on me. It's like I'm not the target audience. Although, I do still thoroughly enjoy what it has to offer, and I adore the track The Order of Spiritual Virgins is the creepy, crushing, long intro to the album. It's over 9 minutes long, and it's about a powerful, obsessive presence that takes over people. It uses its long duration to its advantage, doing a great job at getting you completely immersed into this terrifying album. Yeah, that about wraps this one up. I really appreciate what Sinner Get Ready has to offer. I just don't think it was meant for me specifically, so I'll give this one an 85 out of 100.
I'm not the candidate to vibe with. I don't
Let God Sort 'Em Out, Fantano's newest 10. It's a 2025 rap album by Clips, produced by Pharrell, and it just has incredibly strong rapping throughout. The beats are very clean and synth-heavy. There's a lot of great features like Kendrick, Tyler, and Nas, and overall, it's a very consistent and replayable project. I guess my only flaw, if I had to nitpick, is that it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. Albums don't need to be completely unique to be great, but I just wish I heard some new sounds on here. Everything sounds relatively familiar, but that's not entirely negative because I really do like these sounds. And my favorite track off this album is
single-handedly boosted rap to its truest place.
Let God Sort 'Em Out / Chandeliers is a Slash song, and I love me a good Slash song, come on. The first section shows Pusha T and Malice flexing how rich, powerful, and dangerous they are. Then there's the phenomenal beat switch, definitely the best moment on the entire album, and Nas takes over the second part. He's talking about his influence on the rap game, his flows are flawless, the rhymes are on point, and it's just badass. Yeah, there's really nothing else that I've got to add. Let God Sort 'Em Out is just a great rap album, and I'll give it an 87 out of 100.
Yeah, you're so inside.
Dead by Charlie XCX is an electropop album from 2024. It's got so much danceable energy to it, it just makes me want to get up and hit the best move of the week. It makes me feel like a bad bitch, to be honest. The songs focus on heavy synths, a lot of auto-tune, and unbelievably catchy choruses, creating these instantly iconic and unforgettable moments. I literally had some of these songs stuck in my head after hearing them just once. That's impressive if you ask me. And most of the tracks feel very consistent, so it's difficult to choose a favorite, but I've gone with
Don't sleep, don't eat, just do it on repeat, keep.
365 is the closer to the album, and it's very similar to the first track, 360, but it's almost like a revamped version of it. It's essentially the Evo 360. The fact that the album starts and ends with these very similar sounding tracks keeps it very cohesive. 360 and 365 are like the bread to the brat sandwich, if that makes sense. Brat Summer, Brat Summer, Brat Summer. Yeah, that's it for Brat. It's awesome. One of the most fun albums of the 2020s. I'm gonna hand it an 88 out of 100. Hot Rats by Frank Zappa is a 1969 jazz rock classic. It's very odd and experimental. A lot of it sounds almost off, but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like Frank Zappa looked at a list of rules on how to make music and just said, fuck that shit. It only has 6 tracks, yet it's 43 minutes, so a few of them are pretty long, and I really like that. It allows the longer ones to build an atmosphere and gradually progress, and my favorite one is one of those lengthy tracks. Son of Mr. Green Jeans has a complex composition. It's also intricate and cleverly done. It's got great texture and melodies and I don't know, I'm just trying to sound smart here. I just like the damn song, okay? It's 9 minutes of peak jazz rock. Think about this for a minute. Frank's music is just so electric that it zappa'd me. You get it? Electric? Zappa? Alright, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm done with this one. Hot Rats is more of something that I admire for being groundbreaking rather than listen to it in my free time, and that's why it's near the bottom, but it's still an 89 out of 100. The Turning Wheel by Spelling is what I imagine a cross between Bjork and Kate Bush, who are both going to be in this video later, would be like in 2021. It's a gorgeous art pop album with lavish, lush production and high-pitched, fantastic vocals. Each track just adds and adds to the atmosphere of the record, making you feel like you're in an entirely new world, floating and gliding around. My favorite track here is definitely Little Deer is the very first track, and I think it pulls you into it better than I ever could have imagined. There's the drums, the strings, the horns, and oh my god, the piercing vocals that just take over the track. Her dreamy, soft, shimmering voice is just on full display here, making the chorus so utterly beautiful. Dead of winter, dead of eve, little deer will marry me. Yo, my voice got way the fuck up there. I almost hit that shit. No. Yeah, this song just makes me melt away. It's so perfect. And yeah, The Turning Wheel takes these classic, recognizable sounds and modernizes them, polishing them to an improved standard. It's a very great album, an 89 out of 100. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy is an 80s rap classic. It's extremely politically driven, diving into social issues like racism, political corruption, and systemic injustice. It's super important because it's one of the first big hip-hop projects to fully center those ideas, so it sorta helped start a movement within rap. The aggressive, chaotic production perfectly matches the urgency of what they're trying to convey, and the album's influence is still noticeable today. It's essentially a landmark of an album. And my favorite track off this one is
Cold sweating as I dwell in my cell. How long has it been?
Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos is an over 6-minute banger that samples the piano loop from what the fuck? I have no idea how to say that by Isaac Hayes from 1969. It's a hard-hitting track about Chuck D being in prison, discussing how he's gonna break out. It's told very fluently and effectively, and by the end, you're celebrating him escaping. It's just got some great energy to it. Yeah, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back would have been higher up, but there's just a few tracks that feel kinda unnecessary to me, the short ones to be specific, but even with those, it's still an amazing project. I'm giving it a 90 out of 100. Violator by Depeche Mode is a synth-pop, dark wave classic from 1990 that is universally loved by dads around the world. Yes, including mine. I don't know, everyone can just agree that their dad likes this project for some reason. The album discusses religion, obsession, desires, and our dark side as humans. It's told in such a way that really shows the contrast between beauty and evil. There's a lot of fantastic tracks here, but my favorite one is Halo is about caving in and going along with a forbidden love, even though you know it's wrong, just because you can't stop yourself. It's very emotionally vague, so you can kind of choose what it's about. Is it one of those right person, wrong timing kind of things, or is it about cheating on your partner? I don't know, you get to decide. I also love the overly dramatic instrumental and vocal performance, making you feel like this decision could cost you your life. It's a fucking banger, what can I say? Overall, Violator is a beautiful and gorgeous album, but it's also a creepy and haunting album. It shows the duality of humankind, the good and the bad. It's getting a 90 out of 100. Hounds of Love by Kate Bush is a monumental art pop album. The intro track, Running Up That Hill, became popular again because it was in Stranger Things. I've never seen it, but I think that's really cool that a song from 1985 hit its popularity peak almost 40 years later. But yeah, these songs are all very gentle and hazy, like a dream that you can barely remember. The vocals are very spacey and echoey, almost as if they're being directly translated from like heaven or something. And amongst the stacked track list, my favorite song is I adore cloud busting. It's so heavenly, and it makes you feel like you're levitating. The track is actually about a book by Peter Reich called A Book of Dreams, which is about his father. That's cool and all, I don't really care, but I'm more focused on those ending, choir-like vocals. They're stacked so flawlessly, and it makes you feel like you're in an arena with a million fucking people surrounding you, cheering you on. It's epic, to say the least. Yeah, I should probably watch Stranger Things, shouldn't I? Hounds of Love is a delightful project, and for that, I'm giving it a 91 out of 100.
I want a little sugar in my...
Nina Simone Sings the Blues by Nina Simone is like the R&B classic from 1967. This album has these extremely simple yet effective instrumentals with a lot of empty space that just allows Nina to show off her unbelievably talented vocal skills. She talks about love, about racism, her own personal struggles, and gives a lot of raw emotion. Her voice is just so damn powerful, and she uses that to her best ability to really hammer in these core ideas. And my favorite track here has to be
Mr. Backlash, Mr. Backlash.
Backlash Blues is probably the most politically aware cut on this album, describing certain circumstances and how they're unfair and discriminatory. It's a very necessary track within music history, and the guitar riffs are infectious, the harmonica is well layered, and the piano work is flawless as always. It sounds beautiful, it is beautiful, it's just perfect. Yeah, I love the messaging and importance of this record deeply. It's something that I think a lot of people need to hear and truly understand, especially in our modern day world. So I'm giving Nina Simone Sings the Blues a 91 out of 100. Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin is the 1975 hard rock essential. I'm honestly surprised that Fantano gave this Led Zeppelin record a 10, because I like Led Zeppelin 4 the most of their work by far, and I assumed he would too. This isn't a bad take by any means, I'm not saying that. It's very valid, just unexpected, I guess. And for my favorite song, it's a generic take, but it's... Kashmir is debatably Led Zeppelin's greatest song ever made. I mean, the main melody, dun-dun-dun, 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 is one of the greatest things I've ever heard from music. There's actually a bunch of instruments in there. There's the prominent guitar, the violins and other stringed instruments, and the bass to top it all off. And let's not forget about the vocals. They're stunning. The lyrics were actually inspired by a road trip that the group went on through Morocco, and the beautiful visuals of the area were apparently enough to spark their minds into creating this beast of a track. All in all, Physical Graffiti may not be my #1 Led Zeppelin project, but it's definitely up there for me. It's well written, it's well executed, and it's crucial in their discography and in music in general. I'll hand it a 92 out of 100. Bitches Brew is the 1970 jazz fusion album by Miles Davis. It's definitely one of his most groundbreaking, influential, and revolutionary works, which essentially popularized the jazz rock genre as a whole. It's comprised of 6 tracks, a lot of which are these long-lasting, monstrous compositions, like my favorite one off the album being... Bitches Brew, the title track and second off the album, is nearly 27 minutes of... well, everything I've been explaining. But wait a minute, look how many people worked on this song. Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Benny Maupin, John McLaughlin, Chick Corea, Joe Zawinul, Dave Holland, and Harvey Brooks. But yeah, this album isn't the easiest to put into words. It's just very admirable jazz. I recommend listening to at least one of these songs just to get an idea of what it's like, because I feel as though I can't quite do it justice. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bitches Brew is an amazing, impactful, and powerful jazz album, and for that, I'm gonna give it a 92 out of 100. Discovery by Daft Punk is an electro, disco, dance, house album from 2001, and it's one of the most fun and enjoyable music experiences you can possibly have. They use these robot-type voices and sing over bouncy, playful, high-energy instrumentals. Every single song is super catchy and memorable. Also, something to mention, they have these very thick French accents, which make a lot of the words sound silly almost, but I love this about it. It's such a simple way to give the group and the album some character, just a way to stand out from the rest. And my favorite track from here has to be... Face to Face is a legendary track about relationship problems and how they're best solved face to face rather than like on the phone. It's actually about a specific case where Todd Edwards, who's the feature on this song, thought that his partner was causing all of the issues within his relationship, but after facing her, he realized that he was the problem all along. It's sad, but it's also a very good learning moment. We all make mistakes. And I didn't even mention how fantastic this song sounds. It's an upbeat track with lots of cool noises and sound effects, which is said to sample around 24 other fucking songs. That is wild. This album made me harder, better, faster, stronger, which must be a good thing, right? I'm giving Discovery a 93 out of 100. London Calling by The Clash is a punk rock banger from 1979, and in Fantano's words, it's a flawless smorgasbord. I don't know why the fuck he chose to use those words specifically, but hey, let's just go with it. The album seems to be about the world ending or something. I don't know, there's a lot of destruction happening here, and it's all gracefully sung by Joe Strummer with his commanding voice and his awesome British accent. My favorite track is Without a Doubt. London Calling, the title track and intro to the album, is one of the best rock songs of the 70s. It's iconic, it's catchy, and I just want to play it like 45 times in a row until I can't stand it, then play it again. The repetition of London Calling on the verses is just so audibly satisfying. I don't know how to put it, I just love this song so much. Yeah, that's it for this one. London Calling is a phenomenal British rock classic, and I'm going to give it a 94 out of 100. You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters. Now, I did not mention this earlier because I wanted to address it here. Lingua Ignota, the artist behind Sinner Get Ready, has alleged that Alexis Marshall, the vocalist from Daughters, abused her during their relationship. Because of these allegations, I'm just personally uncomfortable praising this album in depth. I do understand separating the art from the artist. I just don't wish to do that here. I'll mention my favorite track and explain why it stands out, but I won't be engaging with the album much beyond that. Ocean Song is my favorite track off the album. It tells the story of a man named Paul who comes home to absolute panic and terror. It never really explains why, but he starts running and running from something. The fear of the unknown is used to its advantage here. The fact that we don't know what is scaring him so much is honestly terrifying to me. Yeah, I have no more final thoughts. You Won't Get What You Want is receiving a 94 out of 100. The Money Store by Death Grips is the first 10 that Fantano ever gave. It's an experimental glitch rap album from 2012, and from the cover alone, you can tell that this one's wild. There's a lot of loud, distorted noises, random and unheard of samples, and weird lyrics, to say the least. All of that comes together to form this 41-minute masterpiece, and my favorite track here is definitely... Hacker is actually Fantano's favorite Death Grips track. He did a bracket on their songs, and this one won it all. I would have gone with Tachyon, personally, but whatever. Hacker is described as being the moment when all shit breaks loose, and all that's left to do is riot. If you've heard the song, that makes sense. There's the distorted synths, the marching band drums, and the MC Ride just screaming, "I'm in your area!" It's a chaotic, fantastic way to close off this absurd album. Anyway, that wraps this one up. The Money Store is fun, aggressive, shocking, and such a rewarding listen. It's one of the best experimental rap albums. It is a 94 out of 100. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill by, well, Lauryn Hill is an R&B rap fusion record, and I have a hot take about this one. I say this is a rap album. People often question that because of the R&B and soul influences, but albums like Take Care by Drake lean just as heavily into R&B, maybe even more, yet they are unquestioned as rap. Lauryn Hill's rapping is sharp and confident throughout this entire project, yet she's often framed as a singer first over anything. I can't help but think that her gender plays a role in this. People aren't as willing to give a woman credit for being a great rapper, and I think that is clearly shown here. With that out of the way, my favorite track is... X Factor is a captivating track about toxic relationships, dwelling on the past issues with your ex-partner. The breakdown near the end is one of my favorite moments in all of 90s music. It's so emotional, it's so meaningful, yet it gets stuck in my head like an average pop track. How does she even do that? It amazes me, but overall, Lauryn Hill deserves to be recognized as the great rapper that she is. Yes, she can sing extraordinarily well too, but her rapping is just as significant. I'm giving The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill a 95 out of 100. Remain in Light by Talking Heads is a funky, dancey, post-punk standout of a project. It just makes me want to get up and hit the coldest groove I possibly can, like a white dude when Sweet Caroline comes on. It's irresistibly fun, and my favorite track is... Born Under Punches has a terrific bass line, a notable chorus, great vocals, and despite how fun of a track it is, it's very dark. It's describing the tense anxiety that people were feeling in the United States after the Watergate scandal. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. Just know that the song is about people being terrified because they couldn't trust the government. Like at the end of the track where they're repeating, "And the heat goes on," over and over. It sounds all fun and catchy, but it's about these hard times, leaving a lasting effect on the people. Yup, Remain in Light is one of my favorite albums of the 80s. It's adventurous, it's crazy, and it's amusing. I'll hand it a 95 out of 100. Vespertine, the 2001 art pop electronic masterpiece by Bjork. It feels like a compilation of some of the most ethereal, delicately textured tracks imaginable. It's the kind of music that I picture would be playing in those Minecraft lush cave biomes. It's just so pretty. Her voice is so incredibly high-pitched, yet it never manages to get annoying, which I don't even understand. I'm not the biggest fan of these types of vocals typically, but she manages to make them magical instead of grating. And I don't even know how to pick a favorite track. I guess It's Not Up to You is the third track. It's probably the most accessible on the album, but I don't think that it sacrifices its sound to do so. It still has the gorgeous harps, heavenly choirs, and electronic textures. It's just kinda a summary of what the whole album sounds like in just one amazing song. Overall, I didn't even know that Vespertine was a real word. It just means in the evening. I'm an idiot. How'd I not? Yeah, this album is a 95 out of 100. Master of Puppets by Metallica is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Coming out in 1986, it was the album that pushed thrash metal into the mainstream without compromising any of its core sounds. It's just as intense and precise, with songwriting just as strong, yet it manages to have a greater impact than ever before. There's an argument for all 8 of these tracks to be the best, but I've gone with... Yeah, I chose the biggest song. Master of Puppets is the second and longest track off the album, earning every last second of its runtime. It encapsulates everything that the entire album stands for into just one track, which makes it a centerpiece, the core of the project. The riffs are fierce, the subject matter is heavy, and it's thematically insane. It's 8.5 minutes that's definitely worth your time. Yeah, this is the best album to put on when you're trying to go to sleep. It's just so peaceful and calming. I'm giving Master of Puppets a 96 out of 100. Marquee Moon by Television is an art punk album that sounds way cooler than it has any right to. Dropping in 1977, it took punk rock and transformed it into something cleaner, calmer, and sorta hypnotic, mostly because of the guitarists Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd locking the fuck in. Every track here is purposeful, but I've gotta go with... Guiding Light is a quieter, more reflective track, and it feels like staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. while your brain won't shut the fuck up about some how did the universe get here type of shit. The lyrics are vague but emotional, the guitars are shimmering, and the atmosphere is almost euphoric. That's a cool word if you ask me, euphoric. Yeah, this album makes me feel like I'm wandering an empty city at night, potentially intoxicated, pretending that I'm in a movie or something. I'm giving Marquee Moon a 96 out of 100. Highway 61 Revisited is the moment when Bob Dylan decided that folk music was not enough and chose violence, releasing an electric guitar album in 1965. He upset a ton of people in the process, and he changed what a rock song could even be. The production is raw, the performances are chaotic, and the lyrics are just him unloading thought after thought like he's got something to prove. There's so much personality on every single track, but my pick for my favorite is... Like a Rolling Stone is a relentless anthem. It's actually telling the story of a girl who went from being filthy fucking rich to having absolutely nothing, having to fend for herself like it's fucking Fortnite or something. It's deep, it's layered, and it's stupidly catchy. I feel like just about anyone would enjoy this song. Yep, this album is groundbreaking, it's influential, it's somehow like 60 years old, yet it's still an incredible 97 out of 100. Toxicity by System of a Down is my #1 metal album of all time. It came out in 2001, and it's absolutely bad as shit crazy. Serj Tankian is just screaming his damn lungs out over some of the most interesting, enormous, harsh-sounding instrumentals for about 45 minutes. There's just too many bangers on this one. I don't even know what to pick as the best. It's between Chop Suey, Toxicity, and Aerials for me. It changes like 30 to 40 times a day, but as of right now, I'll choose Chop Suey is one of the most psychotic sounding mainstream songs I've ever heard in my life. The song is actually about suicide.
Error. YouTube does not like this word. Error.
And I cannot choose which part of the song I like the most. There's the iconic wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup part, but there's also Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. You know what? I'm not choosing. It is all my favorite. And that's it for this one. This album gives you the kind of energy you need to like fight a bear or something. Toxicity is getting a 97 out of 100. Nevermind by Nirvana is the grunge album, and to be safe, I'm gonna blur the cover. I've seen heated debates about whether this album cover is appropriate or not. Some people say it's one of the greatest album covers in music history, and others say it's literally the worst. I don't have a stance here, I don't know what to think. Yeah, there's a lot of great songs on here, but my favorite Nirvana track is actually Lithium is a crazy song where every single line is simultaneously miserable and joyful. It's actually about depression, and the title Lithium is referring to lithium salts, which is a way to treat manic depression. And Kurt Cobain's voice is top tier as always, the guitar work is flawless, there's really nothing to dislike here, it's just perfect. Anyway, Nevermind is one of the biggest rock albums of all time, and there is a clear reason as to why. This album is bonkers. I'm giving it a 97 out of 100.
Lost my life, I has to fight, nigga.
To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. There's not much about this one that hasn't been said already. It's the excellent 2015 jazz rap modern day classic, and it's actually the highest rated album of all time, and I'm not upset with that at all, to be honest. It's super politically aware, pushing ideas of racial injustice and systemic inequality. It's a good look at how and what it means to be a person of color in America. It also has the reoccurring poem running throughout it. At the end of some tracks, Kendrick reads part of a poem he wrote, adding more and more lines as the album goes on, until the last track, he reveals it was written for Tupac. That is brilliant. And my favorite song off this album is
Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated.
You is my favorite Kendrick track. It's a heartbreaking, devastating look at self-worth and how Kendrick, alongside many others, struggle with loving themselves. It's harsh, it's uncomfortable, but it's real, and I love that honesty. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes loving you is complicated. That's just how it be sometimes. Anyway, T-Pab is just T-Pab. I don't really need a concluding statement with this one. It's just an amazing record. 98 out of 100.
Here comes the sun.
Abbey Road by the Beatles is one of the most famous and iconic albums in music history. It's a pop rock classic, and it's a piece of music that I think everyone should give a shot at some point in their life. What's there to lose? There's the intro, Come Together, there's the fabulous Something, and there's the damn iconic Here Comes the Sun, for fuck's sake. That's like the happiest music there is. And for my #1 song, I chose Something is one of the most beautiful tracks by the Beatles, both in sounds and in meaning. The song is actually about being in love with someone, so much so that you just find everything about them to be fascinating. There's just something about them that you can't ignore. That's why it's called Something. It's Abbey Road, come on, I just want to walk with them down that road. It looks so nice, look at it. For me, it is a 98 out of 100.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times.
Enter the Wu-Tang by the Wu-Tang Clan is absolutely fucking awesome. Produced entirely by the group's leader, RZA, this album is a hip-hop beacon. Despite how serious, intimidating, and groundbreaking the Wu-Tang Clan is, this album is a lot of fun. From the bouncy, upbeat, fun production to the silly, weird, and out-of-pocket lyrics. Like, look at this. I just love seeing an album be so important, yet so laughable at the same time. It's refreshing. And for my favorite track, it is... Method Man is honestly one of the best rap songs I've ever heard in my life. It's all done by Method Man, if that wasn't obvious, and he takes the fuck over. Iconic lines, check. Unique flows, check. And he sings too? It all comes together perfectly, like the pieces of my hot dog stand Lego set clicking into place. I don't even know why I said that. That doesn't... Enter the Wu-Tang is an album that I appreciate further and further the more I listen to it. It ages like the finest of wines. It's getting a 99 out of 100.
No pain, no death, no...
To Be Kind by Swans. Of course the Swans had to be up high. They're my favorite group of all time. This is a 2-hour beast of a post-rock album with tracks spanning from 5 to 34 minutes in length. It's all about these catchy little guitar riffs that you hear when the song starts, then it just loops and loops and loops. I love this repetition so much. Like, on the song... Oxygen is one of the best Swan songs ever. It's 8 minutes of that piercing guitar riff, and as the song goes on, it gets more and more complicated, and by the end, it's chaotic, it's loud, and it makes me wanna... That was my best representation of me listening to Swans. Anyway, I get it. 2 hours can be a lot to sit through for some people, especially when the music is very repetitive, texture-based, and weird, but I adore every last second of this weird project. It is a 100 out of 100. Purple Rain by Prince is just ridiculous in the best way possible. It's a pop rock, funk, R&B monster of an album that somehow manages to be insanely catchy, technically impressive, and emotionally powerful all at once. Prince does everything here. He wrote the compositions, came up with the lyrics, played the instruments, and sang it all. He's like that one Taco Bell employee holding down the fort at 1 a.m. all by himself. And my favorite song from this album has to be... Baby, I'm a Star is a track that makes me want to get up and just feel the rhythm of the music. It's a song about how he's a rock star, which goddamn yes he is. The song is pure adrenaline, it's Prince at his most fun, at his most confident, and I can't help but feel confident too, with him, every time this track comes on. It is infectious, to say the least. Yeah, Purple Rain is bold, it's flashy, it's emotional, and it's endlessly fun. It's one of those albums that genuinely earns its reputation instead of relying on it. It's an easy 100 out of 100.
One day we will die and our ashes.
In the Airplane Over the Sea, the 1998 indie folk, indie rock classic by Neutral Milk Hotel. This one sounds very messy, very raw, and a little bit broken, but that's exactly why it hits as hard as it does. It's largely inspired by and conceptually driven by the Anne Frank diary. Look into that if you like. I don't feel qualified to really go into it, and my favorite track is...
And now she knows she'll never be
Ghost is haunting and creepy, discussing an experience that Jeff Magnum, the main vocalist, supposedly had with a ghost in his house, but at the same time, it's oddly comforting. His vocals are soothing, the lo-fi rock instrumental is calming, and the little in the chorus is so fun, and it always puts a smile on my face. And yeah, if you look deep enough into the lyrics, it starts resembling Topics with Anne Frank, just like the rest of the album, because it's deep and it's layered. I actually have a fun fact about this song. One time I was just walking around my neighborhood, it was slightly raining, and I was listening to this song. Out of nowhere, a fucking tornado warning hit, and it started pouring, and supposedly I was gonna fucking die or something if I didn't get home. So I started running as fast as I could, and there was so much damn rain in the air that I couldn't even see where I was going. Needless to say, I died that day. No, I'm just kidding. I made it home safe, but I just always think of that when I hear this song. Anyway, this is an album that some people listen to and just hear a random dude with a guitar, while others are deeply connected to it in an almost unexplainable way. I am part of the second group, if you couldn't tell. I'm giving In the Airplane Over the Sea a 100 out of 100. The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady by Charles motherfucking Mingus is one of, if not the greatest jazz album to ever exist. It came out way back in 1963, and it's 4 tracks long, one of which is titled Mode D, Trio and Group Dancers. Stop, look, and sing songs of revolutions. / Mode E, sing solos and group dance. Saint and Sinner join in merriment on Battlefront. / Mode F, group and solo dance of love, pain, and passion's revolt. Then, farewell my beloved till it's Freedom Day. That's a pretty catchy track title if you ask me. Anyway, my favorite song from this album is Track C, Group Dancers, is so fire to me because of those dramatic tone shifts throughout. It changes tempo, it changes sound, and it goes from an orchestral, larger-than-life feel to a flamenco sound. This gives it like a romantic feel, which I did not expect to happen or to enjoy, but I truly adore it. Yeah, if you've got 37 minutes to spare, I highly recommend listening to one of the most innovative jazz pieces ever created. The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady is getting a 100.
Just remember all caps when you spell the man name.
Mad Villainy by MF Doom and Madlib. This is the 2004 abstract hip-hop classic that I consider to be the greatest rap album ever made. The songs are all very messy and chopped up, thanks to Madlib's genius production, which doesn't give Doom much room to rap. Yet, he somehow fills the space perfectly. His flows, his rhymes, his jokes, his deliveries are all just pretty much beyond my comprehension. It's too complex. I don't even understand how a human being came up with this kind of stuff. I'm at a loss for words, alright? And for my favorite track, I went with Fancy Clown. I love Fancy Clown, and I've talked about this one enough on this channel, so instead of describing again how he got cheated on in the storyline, fuck all that shit, just listen to this. I think it's this side? Wrong fucking song. I knew you was fucking around, playing all innocent, hoeing since the foundation. Alright, you get it, you get it, you get it. It's a vinyl. And you know what? I'm bringing this back. I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna play a mobile game into the mic, and you have to guess what it is. Comment down below if you know the game. Hey, y'all better know that one. That one's my childhood right there. Anyway, that's it for this one. I believe that MF Doom is the greatest rapper of all time, and this album was him fully showcasing what he's truly capable of. It is a 100 out of 100. Once again, y'all have heard me talk about this one a few times before. Lift your skinny fists like antennas to heaven. 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 We fucking get it, man, alright? So instead of discussing this one myself again, I've let my buddy Dan the Man from my Discord server write up a little script, and I'll read it to y'all. Lift your skinny fists like antennas to heaven. What is there to say about this album that hasn't already been said. For anyone who somehow doesn't know, Lift Your Skinny Fists is an early 2000s post-rock album with only 4 tracks, while totaling almost an hour and a half in runtime. Every track flows so well together. I would say that every song is a masterpiece of its own, but if I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably go with... Storm is almost 22 minutes long, but it never gets boring the entire way through. It's super atmospheric and builds up until it reaches its climax, then slowly calms down until the end of the track. Storm has some of the most beautiful instrumentation of all time, in my opinion. Well said, Dan. Very well said. He also mentions that he considers it the second greatest album ever made, only behind In the Airplane Over the Sea, which Bodyguard previously talked about. I did do that, that's true. He finishes it by saying, overall, the album is not for everybody, but it's definitely an album that everybody needs to hear at least once in their life. I would rate it an easy 100 out of 100. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. It's my #1 album of all time, so who would have guessed that it landed at the top here? It's the 1971 Progressive Soul Essential. I love it so much that Marvin is making me gay. You get it? Because his last name is Gay. That's so stupid. Cut that one out. Yeah, my favorite track here is the first one. What's Going On is my favorite song. What do I say about this? Here's a fun fact. In the background of the song, if you listen closely, Marvin Gaye himself was hitting a cardboard box with drumsticks as a form of drums/percussion. I don't know why, but that's kind of funny to me. Just imagining Marvin back there beating the absolute shit out of a cardboard box. Meanwhile, he's making like the greatest song ever made. It's a funny visual. I don't know. That's it for this one. I wonder if you could guess what I'm giving this album. You'd never expect it. It's a 100 out of 100. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. Comment cardboard if you made it here to prove that you're a real one and you have a better attention span than TikTok kids. And I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.